And there it is, gel coat on. I was pretty lucky to get it on there because this turned to jelly on me as I was applying it right at the end. I put 1.5% by weight of catalyst in there. It's probably too much for the temperature. I should have gone with 1%. It doesn't matter, I got it all on there. All this texture does not matter. All around the sides, under the lip there. I had the body upright, which made it easier to get into this area and do the top, and then laid it on its side. When I did lay it on its side, I had a little bit of gel coat in my glove. And it peeled this bit of PVA off, which doesn't really matter because that part, you know, I was going to chop off anyway. It only came in handy to the bolt frame too, really. That's about 1.5 to 2 mil thick. Some places are a little bit thicker, but that's okay. You don't want it too thin because otherwise it'll shrink and go like alligator skin once the heat is applied from the fiberglass going off. Yeah, this has got to wait at least 2 hours before you can start putting fiberglass on the top of it. Just before I leave for tonight, I wish I had a thermometer or something out here because this thing is screaming hot. Like if I touch that, it'll burn my finger. It's a bit of a waste of gel coat, but it takes a while to guesstimate how much you need for a job. I just wanted to show you, show you that this thing is screaming hot. If I had like a flare camera or something, this would be almost white. And it's getting hotter. So at the moment it'd be 50 to 60 degrees Celsius, which is 110 to 130 Fahrenheit. And it's got so hot that it's hardened itself, which it's not supposed to. It's meant to stay tacky. It is tacky, but it's hard. This stuff here isn't hot. It's still very much tacky, which it's meant to be, because that's so concentrated. It's heated right up. So I'm going to leave it sort of, might put it over there in the more open bit. I could put water in it, I'm not going to. I'll just leave it there. If it does catch fire, it's not going to catch anything on fire around it. I doubt it will, but you never know. I might come and check on it in about 20 minutes. Just one more thing. If you get gel coat on you, this is pretty much the only thing that will remove it. I had all over my fingertips and on my phone cover. I just put a little bit on a cloth, wiped it off, and spotless from, that's just dust I picked up from there. I've still got a little bit of body filler, it doesn't really do much for that. And on this hand I've got some PVA and more body filler, but no gel coat. That white mark there is just where I've hit my hand on something. Yeah, that's the only thing that will get gel coat off. So I decided to give this a few whacks with a hammer. It came up like new. This is what come off it. If it wants to focus on it. Don't know if you can tell, but you can see all the lines, like the grow rings on the tree, where I've mixed gel coat and resin separately with the same paddle. quite surprised that it all came off as easy as it did. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Right, it's the next morning and today is fiberglass day. So what I'm going to do is mix up the resin. I'm going to do 1 to 1.2% by weight catalyst. I'll do a layer of resin, then I'll put my chop strand mat on top, starting with the thin stuff. Make sure I work all the air bubbles out of all of the corners and creases, which is going to be tricky and time consuming, so I'm going to put you on a time lapse for this whole process. And yeah, let's get happening. Okay, all the fiberglass is on there. I did try and put my reinforcing bits on. It ended up in that big mess down there. The hose had memory, so I didn't want to go straight, didn't want to lose the curves, didn't want to curve enough. It's just a big headache, so I didn't do it. This one, because it's got sort of sharp edges all around it, it just wanted to delaminate. I didn't want to conform, so I forced it into place. Just, you know, that cold flute stuff, bit of sticky tape, bits and pieces holding it up. You got to do what you got to do. Here's that big bit of gel coat that was in the bucket that was getting hot. It fully cured. It's now a solid piece of gel coat. It didn't catch fire. It popped out of the bucket cleanly, so I can reuse the bucket. Happy days. While talking about buckets, this has still got resin in it. I don't want to touch it, I'm not wearing gloves. When that hardens, I should be able to just squeeze the bucket a bit and it should pop out. There's the one that had the gel coat in it. It's pretty much spotless on the bottom. I'm not too concerned about the sides. If it still has a bit of something left in it, it doesn't really matter unless it, you know, breaks off and then becomes an issue, but it shouldn't. I should have wrapped my drill in plastic or put it in a bag or something, because I've got, you know, bits of resin. It should harden, it shouldn't really matter. But yeah. And these scales are a bit temperamental, this screen. So I don't know if you see that the numbers disappear. There we go, it's back, now it's gone. Pain in the butt. Yeah, I've had those for a long time, so I'm not surprised. They've always lived in my garage. My old garage wasn't insulated. And that's why it's all like this, because it got hot. That's why you buy cheap scales.